This is CJ's Diecast Hangar. In this video, I want to share with you where I get a lot of my planes in Richmond, BC in Canada. This is called Flight City, and they've been my biggest supplier of diecast 1 to 200 and 1 to 400 scale. And here's a view of it next to McDonald's in Richmond, just southeast of the airport. And so this is the front entrance. Here's a selection of both 1 200 scale and 1 400 scale. The new arrivals are typically on the right. And there's a selection of Gemini jets, JC wings, and other brands. This is the major ones, and they often have new shipments come in. And so here the owner Don is sorting through different ones to put on the shelf. You can put your name on a list with Flight City, an email list, and you will get emailed the new releases from both Gemini, JC Wings, and Phoenix. Here's a display case that nicely displays some of the aircraft and the boxes that are underneath, so it gives you a nice visual, outside of the box. I often love to see the model outside the box, and Don does allow you to open the boxes and take a look, being, of course, careful with the models. And he does have several cases throughout the store modeling the different planes, so you can see them out of the box and with their landing gear on or in a takeoff position. Here's the more JC Wings 1 200 scale models to the left there, the display case. And here's a look inside the display case with several more domestic carriers, and then also some unique ones like the Airbus Beluga here. And this is a Polar Air as well, with the unique opening front and with all the hinges and such on the 747. And also he has military aircraft as well. Here's a prototype artistic rendering of the new Canadian F-35. Here's another F-18, CF-18 Canadian Forces military jet. And he has these more located near the back of the store. And so I've been really happy with all the service I've got at Flight City for the last number of years. And it just has all the current releases coming through frequently. And so he'll often email when there's a shipment that comes in to let you know when the next shipment has come in from Gemini or Phoenix or JC Wings, or even the military aircraft as well. The largest selection being Hobbymaster in 172 scale. But as you can see, there's quite a variety of different types of planes, but also different liveries. And he does carry a lot of pilot equipment as well, headphones, maps. I'm not an expert in these things, but you can see different manuals here for training purposes. And also he has pilot's uniforms and such as well. And here you can see also at the end, he has a number of keychains with different airline names on them, just so you can kind of be a collectible. Here's a model that sometimes he has unique models made out of wood that he sells as well. And here's a large scale Thai A350, and it's a much larger scale, so once in a while he'll bring in decent sized ones. He does have other collectible stuff too, like clocks with kind of the aeronautical gauges on them. And so lots of little gifts like pillows, puzzles, mugs, and such. And so it's a great place to go if you have a person who's a air pilot or a fan of airlines, just to get all the cool collectible stuff. Don also has an assortment of magazines that are airline related, Spitfire, 757, Air, Aviator, all these different ones you see here. He also has a section of consignment that you can bring in a plane to sell, it's a good way to make some money off your older models. He also enables you to go and buy planes as well. I found some great finds here. Usually some older models that you can't find currently, but sellers are wanting to sell off, so it's a nice option to have, not having to buy brand new all the time, but buying used planes that are still in good condition. And sometimes a little less costly as well, but with the price of things today, sometimes they're comparable to what you pay for a new plane, but if they're taken well care of, then they've grown in value. Here's the military consignment section that you can also do consignment as well. He also has an assortment of posters of various commercial, but also military as well. Here you can see the inside store with the books to the right. There's a huge book section. It has beautiful murals on the wall in the front there as well. There's also a great selection of jackets, aviation jackets, but also other clothing as well. As you can see here, t-shirts with different specific aircraft makers and manufacturers, as well as a lot of Canadiana, as the store is in Richmond, BC, Canada. And there's RCAF bags and such as well. Here's a Cessna bag, the Cessna Aircraft Company in Wichita, Kansas. And so a large selection of hats of various Canadiana and also specific aircraft as well, and lots of t-shirts, both military and commercial. Here's a good selection of t-shirts on display as well, for all sorts of collectors in different varieties. Here's the military 172 scale, mostly Hobby Master, but there are some JC wings and some other ones, Gemini as well. Most of them are in 172 scale, but there are some in 1/400 perhaps, or smaller scale. There's also a kids section to the left with different airplanes, helicopters, different air collection stuff. And so here's looking inside the cabinet of the new military offerings as well, from vintage wartime to modern aircraft, like this Royal Australian Air Force, and some old vintage, whether from Germany or from the Allies. So a great selection. Here's one from Japan as well. Great selection of old vintage aircraft as well as new modern ones. Here you can see a good selection of toys for children. They come in box sets with the airplane and buses and stuff like that. And he also has hats, kind of like, I don't know what you call it, stuffies, stuffy planes. So they're plush toys, different liveries. Here you can see China Airlines in Alaska as an example. He does also have a selection of Skymarks models that are not metal but plastic, and they are usually cheaper. They do have landing gear for more of the wide bodies, but not for the narrow bodies. Here's a view from the South Terminal at the YVR Airport, close to where Flight City is. So if you ever come to Vancouver, please check out Flight City. Thanks for watching and have a good one.